Ladies and gentlemen, good day to you all. Today, I'm excited to share an experience that brought us closer to nature, sparked our spirit of adventure, and gave us much to reflect upon. Our recent safari to Jim Corbett National Park, located in the foothills of the majestic Himalayas in Uttarakhand. Jim Corbett is one of India's most renowned wildlife sanctuaries. It proudly carries the legacy of the legendary Jim Corbett, a hunter who became a passionate conservationist, and holds the distinction of being the country's very first national park. Naturally, we set out with high hopes, envisioning the roar of the Bengal tiger, sightings of majestic elephants, and the rich biodiversity the park is known for. The early morning air was filled with excitement as our jeep rolled into the forest. The guides were knowledgeable, and the scenery was breathtaking. But as the safari unfolded, reality began to diverge from our expectations. Unfortunately, our wildlife sightings were quite limited. We spotted only a few animals, some spotted deer, barking deer, a handful of monkeys, and a few peacocks. The elusive tiger, the park's main attraction, was once again nowhere to be seen. What made this particularly disheartening is that this was our third visit to Jim Corbett, and each time, the experience has been more or less the same, with sightings restricted to the same few animals. Naturally, this led to some disappointment. Now, we fully acknowledge that nature operates on its own terms. Safaris aren't scripted experiences, and the freedom of the animals to roam unseen is a key part of what makes them special. However, what stood out to us this time was the lack of visitor engagement and supporting infrastructure that could have made the journey more fulfilling, especially considering the cost, effort, and anticipation involved in visiting such a famous national park. There's tremendous scope for improvement, and with the right measures, Jim Corbett could be transformed into a far more enriching destination. For instance, well-designed interpretation centers and guided educational exhibits could offer insights into the park's ecology, even when wildlife is not visible. Observation towers or live camera feeds from deeper parts of the forest could give visitors a glimpse of the unseen, enhancing basic amenities, improving communication, and offering more immersive, informative experiences could elevate the park's appeal. And finally, incorporating local culture, crafts, and ecotourism could create a richer and more sustainable experience for both visitors and the surrounding communities. We truly believe that Jim Corbett has the potential not only to be a haven for wildlife, but also a hub for environmental education and sustainable tourism, a place where conservation meets curiosity. Even with limited animal sightings, the safari did offer moments of calm and connection. The serenity of the forest, the calls of unseen birds, the sight of deer moving gracefully through the trees, and the playful antics of monkeys reminded us of the quiet beauty that lies beyond city life. Perhaps that's one of the true gifts of a safari, not just the thrill of a tiger sighting, but the opportunity to reconnect with the natural world and reflect on how vital it is to protect it. In conclusion, while this safari didn't live up to all of our expectations, it left us with valuable memories, important lessons, and the belief that with better planning, thoughtful development, and a focus on visitor experience, Jim Corbett National Park can become even more impactful, rewarding, and unforgettable. Thank you.